And Kathy's in the door. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope your meal went well and everybody enjoyed the fixings and the Ronbos here. Let's get going. Broadcasting live from beautiful downtown Cleveland. It's station WDWL TV with the Grumpy Old Man. Brought to you by Grumpy Vulture Productions. No bow. Thank you. He's bitching because I cooked one of his relatives today. It wasn't a direct relative. It was a chicken, not a vulture. What do you mean, same family? Oh, shut up. Damn bird. Well, Kathy, you know Cleveland weather. At 3, well, first of all, when I got up this morning, there was just a little powder on the ground. And it basically melted away. And then around noon, there was a little more powder, and it stopped. Just enough to cover my guest with snow. He didn't mind. He seemed to be enjoying it. So I'm doing various things. 3 o'clock, I look out the window, and it's starting to snow. By 4:30, there was easily an inch and a half on the car. Right now, there's about 3 inches out there. Fucking Cleveland. Couldn't wait, a couple of weeks. Yeah, he had just a little powder on him. I'll tell you what, some hunter would have loved to have that 8-point buck. Yeah, I lifted the shade and I looked out the window and I looked back and I was like, wait a minute. I have a guest in the backyard. He was there, I would say, up until like 5 o'clock. And I don't know if he went behind the garage or he went behind that big green shrub. I didn't want to walk out there and scare him because it'd be my luck he'd go to jump over the fence, catch his foot, break his leg. I am the only, and I've talked to several of the neighbors around me, I am the only person that gets deer in the backyard. Nobody else. I don't know what it is. Well, you can see in the picture my backyard looks like goddamn jungle, which I don't give a shit about, but they love my backyard. I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, there were 3 of them back there. 3 does, snoozing. Today, a nice 8-point buck. And who knows what'll be there tomorrow. I mean, once it starts snowing like this, they'll usually be here daily. Obviously, Kathy, because they keep coming back. Although, what was it, 4 years ago? I loved it when the deer herd that the Ohio Department of Natural Resources had tagged. And those deer were like domesticated. Even though they were wild, I could pet them son of a bitches. They had no fear whatsoever of humans. And I could walk up and pet them. Matter of fact, I had one eating a peach out of my hand, which my dumbass, I should have put my GoPro on. And I would have had a video of that deer eating a peach out of my hand. But these here that have been showing up this year are totally wild. I mean, the other ones were wild, but they had vaccination tags and they had a GPS tag in their ears, and they were all numbered because it was a herd that originated out somewhere in Twinsburg in the Met Park area. And what they did was they ended up they darted the whole herd, and then they gave them medical checks, they vaccinated them, and they put GPS tracking devices so they could follow them. And they came from Twinsburg to here, and they went from here to Medina. Oh, they had a lot of contact with humans. The guy from the Department of Natural Resources told me the reason was people were feeding them, which they didn't want. But, when you get deer in the city, I mean, everybody's like, oh, quick, grab a carrot, grab an apple, grab something. And they were almost like domesticated. Oh, and I stayed in touch with him because it was they start out in Twinsburg and they end up here in Cleveland. Then they ended up in Medina, and he said eventually they ended up between Cincinnati and Columbus. And then they turned around and started back. So they took a tour of the state. Yeah, that was one thing he was complaining about. Because if people stop feeding them, you know, they're going to be hanging around going, hey. Yeah. But yeah, he told me that was the problem. Because everybody was like, oh, look at the cute deer outside. Throw them some apples. I did my bird. As a matter of fact, about 15 minutes ago, it just finished up. Done to perfection. Done to perfection. I started it out, like they said, upside down. I went, they said 15 minutes. I went about 18 because the air fryer wasn't totally preheated. Then at the end of 18 minutes, I flipped it over. I set the timer for 15 minutes. Turned out perfect. Crispy skin. So we're only going to go to 8:30 because that'll give me time to microwave it, get it up to temperature again, because I don't want to eat. I could eat room temperature bird, but I'd like it. And heat up the rest of my fixins. But I'll tell you, it smelled wonderful. I put the thermometer in and it said deep inside the thigh, the temperature should be 165. I tested it in 4 different places. It was at 170. Done. So the other 3 that are in the freezer, I'll make one for Christmas. I don't know if I'll do one for New Year's. No, I can't. I got to have pork for New Year's. You don't have anything that scratches and pecks the ground on New Year's. Although I don't understand that because a pig will scratch the ground, but it ain't pecking. So New Year's I'll probably get a pork tenderloin because I have a great recipe for air fryer pork tenderloin. That'll take care of, well, there'll be 2 birds left. Maybe I'll make one for Easter. I don't know. I mean, I can make them anytime. Now, shit, 45 minutes, done. And what I did when I flipped it over, I lifted the skin and I put a little pat, a little thin pat of butter on each breast. So that breast meat will be, oh, delicious. And I have my kitchen shears, and I'll just cut it in half, eat half, save the other half for tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, nice, plump little bird. They fed them Cornish hens well, whoever raised them. Very plump. You know, they say they average 1.5 and 2 pounds. I should have weighed this one. I think it was a little over 2 pounds. but turned out perfect. Absolutely perfect. Because I couldn't find the instruction manual, and I don't know if the air fryer has a preheat function. So what I did was I set it for 390 and I ran it for like 3 minutes. I should have maybe run it a little longer. And then I put the bird in. Really? They didn't fall off? Mine fell off all 12 eggs. I made sure I did the tap method on both ends and then rolled it on the cutting board and put it underwater and the shells fell off. It didn't work for you? Really? Wow. Well, mine were three. A week shouldn't have made a big difference. Did you put a quarter cup of vinegar in the water? I don't know if that helped. All I know is when the water came to a rolling boil, I took my spider and slowly put the eggs in. And then by the time it came up to a rolling boil again, it was 12 minutes. I took them off the heat. I put a cover on the pan. 10 minutes. Then ice bath. They were in the ice bath about 15 minutes, and then I peeled them all. That's interesting. Yeah, it is a crapshoot, but maybe maybe your eggs were super fresh. Maybe they should have stayed a week longer. I don't know. Yeah, it's a crapshoot. I could do it again, and they could turn out where half the egg peels off with the shell. All I know is this is the first time I have done them with the boiling water method, and all 12 eggs just. I guess your eggs wanted to make a fucking liar out of me. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe I mean, usually I have more egg in the shell when I get done than I have egg. This is the first time ever where I have boiled a dozen eggs and all 12 shells fell off the fucking egg. Who knows? Next time, the eggs maybe will screw me over. I was actually shocked. When the first shell come off, I went, okay, this is a gimme. And then the second one and the third one, I went, this is going too easy. I get to the fourth and fifth. I'm thinking, okay, the other ones are going to give me a hard time. When I got to number 11, I thought for sure number 12 was going to fuck with me and go, all right, you've had luck with 11. Here you go. End up with a yoke, you know. I may, you know, it's a possibility. See, one thing that you don't know from the time the chicken lays the egg to the time it goes to the, I'll say, factory to be sorted and graded and put in the cartons and then in the cooler and then shipped out. Who knows how long those eggs have, you know, been sitting? Maybe, did you do all 24 at once? If you did all 24 at once, maybe your water didn't get a chance to come back up to a rolling boil, or did it? I don't know. You know, it's a possibility that your market got their eggs like within a week of them leaving the chicken farm. Well, yeah, I mean, they want, yeah, you're they tell you single layer. Maybe you did too many eggs at once. Next time, try a dozen. I know it's a pain in the ass to, you know, if you want to do 2 dozen, you have to do them in two batches. Next time, try just doing 12. I don't know. It is a crapshoot. Yeah, see, your eggs could be super fresh, which means, you know, they should have sat for maybe a month. I don't know. I I might have just gotten lucky. You know, beginner's luck. Although when I eat all my pickled eggs, I'm going to do, now I've got 2 dozen in the refrigerator right now. I'm going to set 1 dozen aside and we'll see what happens the next time. Like I say, maybe it's beginner's luck. Because, like the instruction said, take them out an hour before you're going to hard boil them. Mine were out for 3. I don't. Maybe that. I don't know. I mean, same thing with the Cornish hen. Maybe the next time I do one, it'll be so goddamn dry, it'll be like shoe leather. I don't know. All I know is I was in shock that I had 12 perfect eggs. I mean, there wasn't even like a little tiny nit of a shell that stayed on the egg. I would I'd peel the top open underwater and the shell just fell off. I could have reached in the sink and reassembled them shells, put a little glue on them, and put it back in the. I. I don't know. Yeah, maybe next time try just a dozen. You might have had too many eggs, even though they weren't touching. I don't know. Like I say, maybe the next time all mine will turn out like shit. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds interesting. You like your eggs a little spicy. I now every holiday, my sister would make deviled eggs, and I'm going to have to ask her for her recipe because her she'll make regular, and then she makes what she calls adult, and oh, they're like fire. I love them. I mean, real deviled eggs. They have a hell of a bite to them, and I know she uses Tabasco. She uses Coleman's dry mustard. I can't remember what else she puts in that egg yolk mixture, and then she puts it in one of them piping bags, and she makes them look real fancy. Well, Tennessee, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Nebula X. Sounds like something from Star Wars. Nebula X. I wasn't a real big Star Wars fan. Matter of fact, I wasn't too much of a fan of Go Where No Man Has Gone Before. I can't think of the name of the damn. Oh, I just went blank. With Captain Kirk. The hell was the name of that goddamn show? God, I grew up with that goddamn show. I can't think of the name of it. I got Star Wars on the mind. Star Trek. I was never much of a fan of Star Trek either. I think I watched the first season, and it was like the same shit over and over and over. They land on a planet, get captured, have a fight. Set favors are stunned. I never heard Kirk go, set phasers for kill. Beam me up, Scotty. I'd like Scotty one time to go, fuck no, stay there. Hey, Scotty, hey! Say it nice. Say please. All right, Scotty, beam me up, please. I'll think about it. I mean, it was the same shit. Every show, they would land on another foreign planet. They'd get in trouble. There'd be some sort of laser phaser fight. The ship would get damaged all to hell, but it still flew. Scotty was always having engine room problems. I think I watched maybe a third of the second season and gave up on it. Yeah, Kathy, it was the same. It was, a little different scenario, but I mean, there was always a fight scene, whether they landed on a friendly planet and went to a bar, go to a space bar, get into a fight. But during the whole series, I never heard Kirk go, set phasers for kill. You stun the guy, he gets up, he continues to kick the shit out of you, you stun him again, he gets up, kill him. Same thing with Star Wars. I saw the first movie. That was it. Because I don't care what movie they make, the sequel just doesn't measure up to the original. Like, how many Home Alones did they make? I mean, you would think the second time around when the family went on vacation, they would remember the check the kids. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, wait a minute, we're missing one. Especially, the mess that he made in the house. It would be definitely, okay, one, two, three, four, five. Well, we're missing number six. Oh, you ain't doing that shit again. Get in the car. Boy, hard to believe the year is almost over. It went by in a blink of an eye. It really did. It seemed like shit. I was just celebrating New Year's yesterday. The older I get, the faster the years go by. Boy, that's scary. Although, in a way, I'm glad it snowed because I got to try the Passat out in snow. Get the feeling of what that car's going to react like. And it's got that anti skid, which basically the way it works is whatever wheel is losing traction, it slowly applies the brake to slow that wheel down until it gets traction again so that you don't have that torque steer. I deliberately kind of did some quick acceleration just to see what would happen. I got to play with it because I took a little drive after I went to the store. I like it. And then I discovered why my rear-window defroster wasn't working. One of the plugs came out. I pushed the button, and I'm like, oh shit, the rear window defogger ain't working. I crawled in the back seat. I'm like, okay, this plug in. Oh, let's see what happens if I plug the other side in. Although I have three that aren't working. So now I have to test them and get some of that rear window defogger repair kit paint. But it's nice to have heat. Now all I need is the paperwork. I would like to own that car. So did you have a crowd at the house today, Kathy? Oh, how's the little one doing? Little one. I'm talking like she's like a 3-year old. The teenager. How's the teenager doing? Well, it kind of shocked me when the 2 hours in surgery. Good, a house full. Always makes it fun when there's a house full. I miss those days. Especially being over at my. Good. Let's let's God, after 2 hours worth of surgery, let's hope we're done. Man, I couldn't believe 2 hours. God, they didn't spend 2 hours when they took that frickin' tumor out of my throat, and that was touchy surgery. That's when I figured, when I saw 2 hours, I figured, oh, that infection was nasty. Well, the elephants will be home soon. Oh, oh, I know. Bad, bad joke. Just think, Ron. 2 incisions. Ooh, whoa. Wow. Now, this time when they closed them, did they use something that her system isn't going to reject like it did the last time? Like double super glue. I'll tell you what, I was quite amazed when my ENT told me how intricate that throat surgery was. Matter of fact, he told me that was the closest he had ever operated on vocal cords. The closest he had ever been doing a throat surgery. Yeah, you want to make sure all that infection is. I know the drain tubes are uncomfortable, but that kind of ensures that this time, yeah, it was interesting. The the office visit about, I think it was 2 weeks after surgery. He says, "No, this is not your surgery." But he says, "You want to see what throat surgery looks like?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes out, gets his laptop. I was like, "Holy shit." I mean, it looks this big on the screen. He's operating in a space about that big, but on the screen it looked like, well, you had plenty of room, Doc. Then he showed me a couple of the instruments, the little itty bitty things. Whoa. Yeah, it was kind of scary when he said, "Another month and you wouldn't have had a voice unless you were using a, 'Hi there, how are you?'" I was like, holy shit. Although I've noticed since the surgery, my voice is like an octave lower. Which don't bother me. I'm just glad to have a voice. That was scary. I'm glad he didn't bring all this up before surgery. I'd have went like, yeah, he said he had a microscope and these little itty bitty instruments. I never knew they made little baby instruments like that. Because after the surgery, he told me, "No unnecessary talking." I was like, "Okay. Don't raise your voice." Okay. Then what happens? The first night I'm home, Boots fucking bites me on the arm. I'm like, "Hey, you son of a bitch." Oh, he's turning into a real trip. He will not move no matter what I do. Like, he's right up against me. And of course, so I will deliberately, like, pull the blanket up a little bit so he kind of rolls away. Next thing I know, feels like like he's attached to me at the rib cage. I shouldn't complain. It is cute until the nails come out. Yeah. Ow, that's skin down there. Easy. Especially in my armpit. Ow, 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 ow. I keep pulling the blanket up. And he does it several times a night. I wouldn't mind it if I was awake. I think he deliberately waits till I fall asleep. Like, "Hey, can't you lay there and watch TV?" There was a news article today about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Remember her? Now we should remember Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Oh man, that was a national news story that went on for quite a while. She got interviewed because she put out I think it was a TikTok video as to why she's wearing wigs. Well, due to her constantly bleaching her hair started to fall out. So she was told by the dermatologist, quit bleaching your goddamn hair. And she ended up originally having her head shaved. And now her brunette hair is coming in real short. But she likes long hair. So that's why she went on TikTok to say, well, this is why I'm wearing wigs. I forgot that she got paroled early. She only served like 15 years of her 20-year, which it was surprising. Well, every state is a little different. But I think her boyfriend got life. Because, well, she had a hell of a defense. With all the shit her mother pulled on her. Her mother kept making her sick and shaving her head and preyed on the public that, her poor daughter had terminal cancer and she got a free house and her mother got a free van and all kinds of cash. And of course, her mother sheltered the hell out of her so that she wouldn't give the secret away. And then finally, old Gypsy got a boyfriend and was like, I'm tired of this shit. And her boyfriend took a bus like 3 states to help her give her mother a dirt nap Then they tried to escape, but they didn't get far. And she separated from her first husband and then got a new boyfriend and has a baby with him. We're not divorced from the first husband yet. Yeah, that's what I said when I saw the news article. I'm like, why does she deserve this publicity? Big deal. She's not the first female on earth to bleach the piss out of her hair and it fall out. And you would think after serving prison time, she would, straighten her life out. Nope. She marries that guy. Then she realizes, oh, I really not in love with him. So they separate. She meets another guy, gets knocked up. I'm thinking, you think her husband's going to give her a quick divorce now? With all this shit? He'll drag that out forever. Unless he wants to be rid of her. Yeah, within a year of meeting this guy, she's having his baby. Matter of fact, it wasn't even a full year that she knew him. And she isn't even divorced. I'm thinking, boy, her husband is going to drag that divorce out for years just to punish her. And at the rate she's going, she'll get tired of the second guy and probably have a third one. When she got paroled, she should have been given strenuous mental health help and not allowed to marry somebody right away, right out of prison. Talk about somebody that will constantly have a dysfunctional life. I can see it coming. She'll get tired of the second guy. But yeah, they make it a big news story. She doesn't deserve the publicity. I feel sorry for the guy that she conned into offing her mother. Yeah, her mother pulled a lot of nasty shit on her, but of course, the mother didn't want to lose the golden goose either. What she should have done when she, decided she'd had enough, she should have exposed her mother right away. Then mom would have got arrested and got put in prison for what she did, bilking people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Matter of fact, they made a movie. But she wasn't allowed to reap any profits from the movie. Matter of fact, I can't remember if she got a book deal, but she wasn't allowed any of the profits from the book either. And here she is back in the news again because her hair was falling out. It must have been a slow news day. Some reporter sees it on TikTok. Whoop, I'm going to run over and I'm going to get a scoop on this one. So along with my Cornish hen, Kathy, I'm going to have my field peas and snaps. And I'll let you know tomorrow how they are. So besides the turkey and dressing, what other goodies did you have for dinner? Did you make the obligatory green bean casserole that I think every household in America has made more than once? I mean, it's good, but it wouldn't be my holiday tradition every year. Oh, gotta have the green bean casserole. Get them French's dried onions. Although I make mine a little different. I pour the whole can in. The hell with reserve some for the topping. There. Getting a little thick. Yeah, they tell you to use like 1 cup. I emptied a whole can in. I take green beans and I microwave them, and then when I dish them out, I put just a splash of Italian dressing on them. That's the way I like my green beans. Just just enough Italian dressing to kick them up a little bit. Oh God, I wish I could eat. Well, although everybody thinks I'm nuts, I'll make corn on the cob, and then I carve the corn off the cob because I can't chew it off the cob. Marianne's like, why don't you get a can of corn? It don't taste the same. Cook up. Now, how do you make your stuffing? I used to make sausage stuffing. Take the cornbread stuffing and add like a cup of Bob Evans sage pork sausage. I would fry up about half of a tube and then crumble it up and mix it in with the stuffing. And then bake it in the oven. Veggies and dip. Did you have spinach dip? Yesterday when I was at Save A Lot, people were buying the frozen spinach dip. I was like, oh, you're cheating. You're not going to make spinach dip from scratch. It's sad, nobody makes anything, well, besides you, Kathy, but I mean, back in the day you made spinach dip from scratch. No, now you buy it frozen, just thawed out. There you go. I'm waiting for them to come out with frozen green bean casserole, although maybe they already have it. Price, they have 37 different varieties of frozen mashed potatoes. God, people can't even mash a fucking potato anymore. No, buy Bob Evans frozen here. All the tradition in the sewer. Oh, I should have sent you. I should have overnighted you a couple of containers of Lawson's chip dip. Well, see, I would do my stuffing that way, but I would also add a half a cup of crumbled Bob Evans sage sausage. Kind of kicked my stuffing up a notch. Hey, Ron, I cheat too. Although, I mean, I boil up a couple of potatoes, just enough for a bowl of fresh mashed potatoes. The sweet potatoes I bought in a can. The cranberry sauce in a can. And I'm having my field peas and snaps out of a can. But I did make the Cornish hen. So I'll just warm it through with the microwave so it's like it came out of the oven. And I'll have my side dishes and voila, dinner. And Boots will sit there watching me eat it. All right, here, have some chicken. Although he's not big on chicken. He might eat a little bit. I'll give him some. Matter of fact, I bought a box of stuffing. I don't even know if I'll make that. I don't want to make a shitload of stuff. Maybe I'll do the stuffing tomorrow. Oh, apple pie from scratch. Oh, nothing better than apple pie from scratch. I used to help my grandmother peel the apples. Matter of fact, her and I would have a contest to see who could peel the apple without breaking the peel. She'd have one like 5 foot long, you know. Me, I'd be like, oops, oh shit. It was amazing how fast she could peel an apple. And then here's the apple skin. Then she had a hand gizmo to core it. Then we'd sit there and slice them. Then she would make her dough from scratch with lard and had the flakiest pie crust on earth. I used to like helping her cook. Yeah, she would go down to the West Side Market and get a pumpkin and then carve it up and bake it, and then mash it, and then add pumpkin spice and heavy cream and get it to that nice consistency. Well, when the pie was done, she had something to be proud of, though, didn't she? That's all that counts. The smile on her face when that pie came out of the oven. That's all that made it all worthwhile. Just her going, I helped. That had to make the whole day right there. When that pie come out of the oven, she was like, I helped. And it gave her, you know, pride in herself, you know. That's good, Kathy. I mean, it gave her a sense of worth and value. You know, she got to help do something for preparing dinner. And I bet you every bite she took, she had a smile from ear to ear. I helped make this. That's good. Pretty soon, she'll be a whiz in the kitchen. I mean, down the line, you'll be able to teach her how to properly use a knife. And one day, she'll be able to make a whole pie by herself. Well, with Grandma looking over her shoulder, but just takes time. She'll be bugging you to bake pies now. Right, and like I say, she was probably as proud as a peacock when that pie came out of the oven. Good for you. You're a hell of a grandma. And her teacher will be amazed. Especially with the pictures to prove it. That's good. It made Thanksgiving even closer. And it's something she'll remember. You know, she'll be bragging about that for years. And over the years, she'll get more talented in the kitchen, and someday she'll be right there by your side doing the turkey and the stuffing and everything. Well, just think in 10 years, Kathy. She'll be helping you with the whole meal. Good for her. I'm glad to hear it. It would be neat to see the pictures of her prepping that pie, but family security. Do you have a thermometer? 165. That's when they're done. And you stick it in the thickest part of like the thigh, and then you go down the breast. I check mine all four corners. Well, I didn't have a square hen, but I was at 170, so I know mine is done. And I had to use the old analog thermometer because I couldn't find batteries today. CVS was out, Walgreens was out. I gave up. You don't temperature check yours? I do because I got food poisoned on undercooked chicken one year. My buddy's wife was in a hurry to do the wings, and she didn't cook them all the way through. And boy, the next morning, oh, was I sick. With poultry, I always make sure I thermometer check it in several places. It would have been faster with the digital. Put that analog in and wait for it to. Then I had to wait till it cooled. I cheated. I put it in cold water. Then went to the next spot, 170. Next spot. Now watch. Tomorrow, everybody will have batteries. I needed them today. Nobody had them. But the analog worked all right. Oh, you should have. It would have been a nice thing for a scrapbook. Although who does scrapbooks anymore? Everything's in the cloud. Where's my pictures? They're up in a cloud. Well, which cloud? I want my pictures. I don't take no chances with cloud. Not at all. Oh, I thought I had a spare one here. All right, where did I put the... Here we go. I have memory sticks. All my pictures go on a memory stick. I don't trust the cloud. Then I put them in a small envelope with a piece of paper that says everything that's on the memory stick. So that way, if somebody goes, do you have pictures of the Passat? Oh, wait a minute. It's on this memory stick. I learned the hard way. I had all my pictures in a computer, in a hard drive. Then the hard drive failed. I lost a gazillion pictures. I either put my pictures on a memory stick or an external hard drive. After losing, God, I lost about 1,000 pictures. Taught me a lesson. As soon as I download them in the computer, I immediately put them on a memory stick or hard drive. All right, Ron, enjoy your dinner, buddy. Thanks for being here. Oh, Kathy's leaving. Whoop, sorry. That's all right. I'm going to be out of here in a couple minutes myself. Thanks for being here, Kathy, on Thanksgiving night. I'm glad your dinner went well and granddaughter's doing fine and you had an assistant in the kitchen. All right, take care. Like I say, I'll be buzzing out of here in about 2 minutes so that I can get my dinner made. I'm not eating at midnight. So, Ron, do you have a cooking thermometer or are you just going to wing it? Well, basically, all you got to do is slice in at the bottom of the thigh. And if the juices run clear, you should be good to go. After after working in the kitchen at the hospital, I always make sure I have a thermometer. All the chefs used to have them in their pockets. They, okay, this is okay, this is okay. Right. So if you slice it and you got clear liquid, you're good to go. Speaking of go, I think it's time to go. Time to eat my Thanksgiving Cornish hen. We know where, right here. All right, enjoy your bird. I'm going to enjoy mine. And we will meet again tomorrow night. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.